Love Center News, keeping you informed on what's happening this week in your ministry.
Here today, I'd like to provide an update to the American people on several decisive new actions we're taking in our very vigilant effort to combat and ultimately defeat the coronavirus. To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
All of you have seen that we're starting to have large event cancellations and school closures across the country. As a result, we're hearing from people in every region of Georgia asking us for advice. In many ways, our message continues to stay the same. We would like to ask people to continue to follow best practices of your health with regular hand washing, avoiding large events if you're sick, and once again, let me remind everyone that this information continues to be available through the CDC and the Department of Health.
On a local level, we have taken actions that we feel address the needs of our respective communities. Specifically on yesterday, I signed an executive order halting the turning off of water to any of our customers, in large part because a lot of this has to do with washing our hands and the ability to access running water. Lastly, we will continue to work with our partners, including our partners at the school system, to make a determination if students are sent home for the next few weeks, how we can work together to make sure that food is delivered to families accordingly. And I'll just lastly leave you with some age-old advice that my grandmother used to give to me. You don't worry until you have to.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy Messonnier from CDC. I'd like to give you the latest update on the novel coronavirus spreading in the U.S., known as COVID-19. While right now our most affected states are California and Washington, the number of affected states, cases, and deaths will continue to rise. That's why I'd like to talk to you about risk. Risk can be looked at in two ways. There's risk of being exposed and getting sick from this virus, and there's risk of getting very sick or dying from illness with this virus. This virus is capable of spreading easily and sustainably from person to person. And there's essentially no immunity against this virus in the population because it's new. But again, we do not expect most people to develop serious illness. This seems to be a disease that affects adults, and most seriously, older adults. Starting at 60, there is an increased risk of death, and the risk increases with age. The highest risk of serious illness and death is in people older than 80. People with serious underlying health conditions also are more likely to develop serious outcomes, including death. I'd like to go through our recommendations for people at highest risk. Make sure you have supplies on hand, like routine medications for blood pressure and diabetes. Have enough household items and groceries so that you will be prepared to stay at home for a period. Avoid crowds, especially in poorly ventilated spaces. Travelers, particularly those with underlying health issues, should defer all cruise ship travel worldwide. We also recommend that people at higher risk avoid non-essential long plane trips. Last and most important, know what's going on in your community. I understand these recommendations may not be popular and that they may be difficult for some people. At CDC, our number one priority is the health and safety of the American people. These are the kind of recommendations I've made to my parents. Everyone has a role to play in helping to protect our family members, friends, colleagues, and neighbors who are most at risk. Check CDC's website for the latest information, cdc.gov/COVID-19, and know what's going on in your community. Let's work together to protect each other.
This has been Love Center News, keeping you informed.